Okay, so we're going to uh, start working on this particular Metal Earth model. It is the Powell and Mason Street cable car, San Francisco, and it's a fairly simple one that we picked on purpose just to demonstrate the basics of Metal Earth modeling. So this is how it comes, just in this envelope. It's flat sheets of metal. And we're going to open it up, which is simply a matter of splitting these two halves of the package. They're just sort of glued together. So we will do that. Okay, so we are, you just get a knife blade or something in here, and you split the two pieces of cardboard. And this one was glued together really nicely. Makes it a little hard, but we will get it apart. Okay, so inside here you have the instructions, and we will go through those and some of the fine points of those. And you have your metal you could call it a sprue, just like the plastic. This is a very simple model with just a half sheet. One side is etched. You can see that etching to give it texture, whatever it needs. It's going to have the name there, right there of the cable car right there. And the rest is just various texturing. The other side is usually not seen once the model is built. Okay, so very simple. Some of these models require 3 or 4 sheets, and they're very complex. So I'm going to start with this simple one. Okay. So tells you what you've got for a model. You've got a QR code you can go to, which will take you right to the website, and you can actually do a 360 view of this model as you work, so that if there's something you're unsure about exactly how it goes together, it will tell you how to do it. Okay, so it points out that there are tabs here. Let's do this. There are little tabs that stick out, and then there are some slots like that the tabs from another piece go into. There are also fold lines, so you have a clue how to fold it, and you're going to need a special, at minimum, a needle nose to fold it. Okay, and then you have the legend, which tells you that you've got, when you're looking at the instructions, you're going to see something like that. That means it's the engraved side, and it points to it on the piece. You'll see that as we get into the instructions. And then the any that's not blacked out is the non-engraved side. Okay, sometimes they'll point with a finger like that to an attention, something you've got to pay a lot of attention to get it right. And then you have here if they want you to insert the tab and then bend it over 90 degrees, it'll be a blue dot. If they want you to insert the tab and twist it 90 degrees, it'll be that green triangle. Okay. So then it says, if needed, slightly twist tabs to hold parts together, then untwist and bend them down for a nice finish. Okay. Recommended tools. Wire cutters. I'll show you my tools that I use. They're good for clipping the parts off of the sheet. It can be done by just bending them, but it's a lot cleaner if you clip them off. Tweezers or needle nose pliers. They're the needle nose is absolutely indispensable. You need that. Tweezers, not so much, because you can't put enough pressure to hold it while you're twisting it. So you really need needle nose to do that. Okay. I'll show you my tools now that I use. These are a Metal Earth set. So we have this needle nose. Is springs open for you. There are some needle nose or tweezer type things that you can get that clamp closed, and those will come in handy in certain situations. I don't have one right here to show you. And then you have your your clippers to clip the pieces off of the sprue, off of the sheet, which is, you will see as we go along. And then in this particular set of tools, there is this, which is flat. And it's, if you bend something and you didn't mean to, it will allow you to flatten it back out and keep it smooth as if it was still on the sheet. So this is a very handy thing too. Okay, so that's the basics of how this is done. Your sheet is it shows you the sheet. We'll just do it this way. And this particular one, there's only one sheet to worry about. Other ones, the sheets will be numbered like A, B, C. And then so it points to the numbers of the part. They are not numbered on the sheet itself. So you need this little diagram to figure out which part is which. Okay. And then as you get into the instructions, you will see that the sheet is, they point to the item you need to start with, number one, and then you work your way through. And we will start that in the next video. Okay, we're going to start with part number 1 there. And it's sort of hard to figure out where it is until you look at your guide. And it shows where number 1 is. And it is, let's see here, sort of got to orient it the same way. And then number 1 is this guy, this big one here. Okay, so I'm going to pop that off. And we need to do this. We're going to do it with the sprue. Right there. Okay. There. And then, let's see. Okay, then we just got those two. We can do this on this one, and that'll work it out. Okay, so we have the part here. And let's see how they've done this. Yeah. Okay. So you see, you have to orient it the same way they've got it, just to be sure that you're right. And let's see, you see right here are the fold lines. Basically, it's a little perforated line. See right there? Or actually, this one's better. It's a perforated line there that is a fold line. Okay. So a caution here on any of this, on the folding and all of that, is be absolutely sure which way you're going to fold this before you do it. These will only take about 3 folds before they break off, 3 bends. So just make sure that you have exactly what you need. Okay, so on the instructions, you see here, it's pointing to here. Look at that this way. There. That's almost overkill. Okay. So anyway, it shows that we're going to fold these 2 pieces up. And so you want this etching, this fancy etching, to be on the outside. So we're going to fold them up. I could do it with the needle nose. This particular one is okay. I can do it just by hand. Just like that. Okay. Fold that up. And then it also shows you, let's see here, this part here and this part, it's not showing that we bend those yet. So let's see what we've got. We're going to be adding this wheel thing right here. So as far as this part here, we have nothing else to do on it. Okay. By the way, don't just be careful if you're using a metal instrument on these, because they'll scratch. You don't want to scratch. So just be very careful about that. There will be some situations where we will use a pencil the end of a pencil. So we've got some fold lines right here where my thumb is, right there, that we may want to deal with here. See right there. And so let's look at the instructions. We're not supposed to fold that yet, so we're not going to do it yet. So we're just going to leave this one piece like this. Then we're going to retrieve the number 2 piece. And the number 2 piece are these wheel-like things. So again, you go back to the instructions, sort of the and you see the number 2 there, right here, which is right here, these pieces here, right along the edge, okay? And there's 2 of them. So the instructions are pointing to the 2, this one here and this one here. Okay, so we'll cut those 2 out. Find the Spro here. That one's hard to get to. Okay. And then that's it. There's there. And we'll cut the other one out. And when we get to the more complicated ones, I'll show you some other tricks that I have learned. Trial and error. Okay. There. So we've got those 2 out. So now we have these here. So we look at the instructions. Okay, so one of the things that I have learned to do is once I do a step and use a part, I highlight the part number, I highlight the arrows that point to the next step to show that I finished this part here. Okay, and so we've accomplished that. That's important to do. So then we're going to put, now on these, you have, there's a bend line here. And you can't see it too well. There you go. Right there. And you need to be careful about which way you're going to bend it. And so in the instructions, you see right there in the instructions. Let's see, that's overkill. We will do this. In the instructions right there, it shows the bend and it shows it going inward. So this is where we would probably want to use the needle nose. To bend it in 90 degrees. Okay. There's another one on the other side. Do the same thing there. 90 degrees. Okay. And those are going to go up from the bottom into this, the body of this cable car. So we want to orient it the exact same way that it is in the picture here so we get it right. Now it looks to me like these are symmetrical. This piece, the wheel piece, is symmetrical. There's 4 wheels and a space and 4 more wheels. And then you have the tabs on each end and then a tab in the middle. Okay, and now here is where you learn where to put the tabs. So you look carefully at what it's pointing to. And they're sort of inboard. There's a tab. See right there where that's where this center one will go. Is right there. Let me point it out with the knife. Right there. It's hard to see. Okay. So that tab goes there. And the ones you bent up go here. There we go. Okay, so we have it in place basically. Okay, just like that. All right. So now here's one of these key points about these types of models is that these tabs, well, number one, it gives you the green diamond, triangle, green triangle there. And if you recall, the green triangle was insert tab and twist 90 degrees. Okay. So we've got the tab inserted here. And then let me give you a caution, which I probably should have done prior to this. And that is, so you got this tab right here, right next to the wool, right there. The tip of the knife is right there on the tab, and these walls are sort of in the way. So what you want to do, and I should have said this before, do not bend anything until you absolutely have to bend it. Okay? Because that's just a prime example of there's a tab there that needs to be twisted, but it's right there next to this wall, and you can't get to it with the needle nose when the wall's up. So you have to wait, put in the wheel section, then you can push the wall up. Okay, so I think we got away with it this time, but for future reference, we need to remember that. Okay, so we will grab this tab. Yeah. Grab the tab, twist it 90 degrees. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you did it or not. Okay, that's good. The other tabs aren't the problem that this is. And you want to make sure your piece is snug. You want to make sure it's snug in place before you twist. Okay. There. That one's done. And this one popped out, but that's okay. We're sort of flexible. We will get it back in. Okay, so it's back in. See that? Right there by my thumbnail. There. Okay. Take that one and you grab it, hold it tight, twist. Okay, so you need a really good quality needle nose that's going to properly grab things like that. Okay, so on the other one here, we're going to have to bend it back slightly because of that one thing that's going to go in there. You see the slot right there, and how close it is to the sidewall. So we should have paid attention to that in the first place. Watch, I can show you a little easier by shining a light up from the bottom, I think. So you can see right where that slot is. Right there. Yeah. Okay. So we'll take our other wheel set that we cut off, and it's right here. Same thing. We're going to bend these end tabs, these end pieces in 90 degrees. Okay. And I should have mentioned another thing about when you're starting one of these models, you have to be so careful where you are working. You need to work in a place where the floor is clean and clear, because if you drop one of these tiny pieces, you're going to have to find it. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. Work somewhere where you're alone. You don't have to worry about other people coming along, walking by, knocking something over, anything like that. Okay, so we have it in place. We want to keep it tight as we twist the tabs. This one, get in there, get the tab, twist it. There we go. And these are easier. Just make sure the piece is tight. Twist. And then the last one, way down at the end here. Twist. Okay, so those are there. I'm going to leave these walls bent out like that because I'm not sure if I am going to have another problem regarding size spacing. So I'm going to leave them like that because, like I said, 3 bends and it's going to break off. So you definitely don't want to do that. Okay. So after we've done that, next we're going to mark the model. Mark the instructions again. Okay, so we had number 2 piece, and it was ×2, and there we are there. And we can go ahead and mark these markings on the instructions that show the assembly, how to put it on there, all the arrows and things. So we know we have done this. On the more complicated models, we're going to go and it's going to take days to get it done. It's very hard to do in one sitting. I guess you could do it, but it'd take 4 to 6 hours on a very long model. And so you want to mark it so you know where you're at when you go back to it. Okay. And we will go on next to the next step in a minute. Okay, we've done the whole first step here, whole upper square right there. We're going to go down here and do these instructions next. All right, so, well, this is interesting on this particular one because, they don't tell you what the number is. It's pretty clear which piece it is, so I guess they figure, what the heck, you can tell which piece, and we're going to assume that, this is the end doors, and apparently they're identical because they don't indicate any difference. But yeah, this is sort of a weird one because they didn't number them. Okay, so on the sheet, on the metal sheet, we can see which ones they are. They are right here and right here, these two. Okay, so we'll cut them out. And as we get into doing more complicated models, we'll address this. So here we go. Clip that. Okay, most of these are just held on by 2 attachment points. Okay, so we can get away with that. There's one. Second one. Clip this right here. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So these are going to go on the end here. And as you see in the instructions, that's going to be all folded up together. So we're going to have to, we'll bring those walls back up into a 90-degree perpendicular to the floor. And we will put these on. It's pretty simple to figure out which way they go on. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just looking at this. There's other things that are going to go up through the bottom here of this. And if you look at this, let's see, yeah, you could see there's other slots there that are going to be used. Okay, and you can see the various ones there. There's a couple on the end here too. All right. So it doesn't look like anything else will be in the way if we lift the walls up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Going to lift both of these 2 walls up to a perpendicular to the floor, to the base. Okay. And then the 2 we just cut out are going to go there. Obviously, the open part of the door is going to be down, right? And the slots, or the tabs on the end of the walls, should fit right into the slots on these end walls. Okay. So it looks like there's 4 of them. Okay, there you got a good view of the one tab right there. There's 4 of them. Okay. So then let's see, the instructions on this are different. If you'll notice, the instructions show blue dots. And blue dots mean you bend the tabs over, you don't twist them. And the reason for that is it just looks better if you just bend them. So there. Now the question is, which way do you bend them? What is the proper way to do it? Do you bend them out? Do you bend them in? What is better? And This is where you can go to the website and it will show you exactly which way to do it. So we're gonna go get the website posted up here, and then you can see how that works. Okay. Okay. So we are at the Middle Earth um, website, which is called fascinations.com. See that? Fascinations.com. Okay, so you're there. You can type in the number or the name of the model you're working on. And we're working on the MMS002, 002, MMS002. Okay. And it's the cable car. It brings it up. And there we are. We're on the cable car. Now, you do the 360 view. This is so cool. So there you go. There's what the completed cable car looks like. So we want to see exactly what they did on these. Um, so we're going to we are going to I think we're going to hold on. We are going to there we go. There we go. Okay, now oops, stop. Let's zoom in a little more. All right, what did they do? There's one tab there. Actually, they twisted these. No, here's a tab here, right where my cursor is. They twisted it to the inside. Okay. Actually, that's a different part. Hold on, let's look around here. And some of the arrows are not working. Okay, so there are some other outer parts here that are going to be make it hard to see. So the part we're putting in here is this back here, and it is hard to see where that tab is going to be. It's up by the window here. Let's see, it's a little above the window. It's right above the window. Right above the window, right there. And it's really difficult to tell if it is which way it is bent. And then the one below that is like about halfway down this thing. And yeah, it's hard to tell. I've got it zoomed in as far as I can. Okay, so let's turn it and see. Turn it to the other side. Whoa. Very difficult to see exactly what we want to look at. Okay, so I think what we're going to have to do is wing it. Okay, so here we are back. There are other parts that go in front of these pieces, and it makes it really difficult to see which way the tabs were bent on this. So we're just going to wing it. And I'm looking at different things here. we have that tab there. There is going to be another tab going in right above it, which is probably going to make it a little difficult. And it's possible that we should wait. Okay, it says on the instructions down here, right here, insert tab, bend 90 degrees for the red areas. And they're showing on the instructions that they're bent inward. So there you go. They're bent inward, not outward. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that when you go to bend these tabs here, you do not want to use anything metal, because if it slips, it's going to scratch your model. So this is where I use my fingernail, or I can use a pencil. If you see this, my thumb is right there, and just gonna these are very delicate pieces. They're very thin metal, but they're metal. They're steel, but it's very thin, so you got to be careful. So what we're going to do is bend the tabs inward, and I'm not going to belabor that on this video. To use a fingernail, a thumbnail, or a pencil. And what I will do is get a pencil and then show you how it's done. Okay, so back to this. We're bending the tabs, and I lied. It's not a pencil, but you could use a pencil. A pencil that has not been sharpened, so you have the blunt end. But what I have here is a wooden handled paintbrush. Okay, so I just stick it against the tab and push inward. And like I say, this particular model, it's very, very flimsy the way it's cut. So you have to be careful. And then what you can do, you get it bent pretty much the way you need it to be bent, and then you can finish it off with a needle nose. And if you're just bending to flatten it down, you're good. You're not going to scratch the metal. Okay. So that first one up there is done. Then the next one here, there, we get it started down as well as we can. And then we're going to finish it off with needle nose to flatten it down. Okay. And I didn't even do it. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay, flatten that down. I'm going to do the other two here. Get it bent down. Flatten it out good. Okay, one last one here. There. Okay. There you go. Okay, so that one's done. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and we'll come back and continue with the other parts. Okay, so we have um, both ends attached here. And if you look down at the top of it, pretty much a box. A little whoppy jawed, but that gets straightened out when they put the roof on and all of that. So it should be good here. So then we will mark the instructions to show we've done this step. that all the blue dots, we've attached everything that it's said to attach. So all of that. Oh, there's one other thing on this step we didn't do, and I'm not even sure what they're asking for, because you see that there's red right here. Right here in the instructions, there's red, and that's probably overkill, so we'll just do it this way. There's red right there. Red usually indicates you're supposed to bend something. But then if you look down here in the next picture, they don't appear to have been bent yet. That's this part right here. So I'm not going to bend it. Also, I probably should point out as we go through the instructions, okay, we're down here. We bent the tabs like it showed, bent them inward. Okay, see that? So we did all that as instructed. Okay, we're done with that. I'm not sure about the red part. We're going to leave that alone until we see something else. Okay, so, and it looks like we're going to see something else here in the next step, which is over here, right here, this step. Okay. So this shows then what we're supposed to do with those red pieces right there. So we want to orient this the same way so we know. Actually, it's showing it upside down, I believe. Anyway, what these make is a step into the cable car here, right there. So the one is 90 degrees down. The one that's actually attached to the floor is 90 degrees downward, and the other one will be 90 degrees out. Okay. This is a place where you're going to want to use your you're going to want to use that flat piece I had, okay, right there, because that way it will bend it very nicely if it's not too wide. And actually it looks like it's going to be too wide, so we're going to have to use needle nose on that particular piece. So we bend it down like that. and then bend this part. Now this part might be able to get to with this. Yeah. This part then bends the other way. A little tricky because there's two bends right there. So it's a little bit tricky, but we can do it. Okay, like that. So then you have your little step. Okay, and this we bent up accidentally. So you've got your little step there on the cable car. All right. Okay, so we did that part, and that covers this. That, 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 and then we finish with that, and it's just pointing down to that's what you're working on the model. All right. So next step is part number 4 that goes on the end here. So we want it oriented like this. In the same direction as the instructions show. Okay, so part number 4. Okay, so let's find part number 4 on our sheet. Part number 4 is right there in the center of the sheet. Okay, just trying to orient this the right way. Yeah, part number 4. Okay, so we clip it off. Let's see, where else is it attached? Here. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so now let's go back to the instructions. We have part number 4 here, and there's a whole bunch of bends in it. And if you see how it's going to be, it shows you how to orient it right there. And this the way I have it now is not right because that's unetched area, which is going to be hidden. It's going to be beneath. So we want it oriented like that, just like they show in the picture. And then we're going to bend it. So you just have to look. The long pieces here, these two long pieces, are going to be 90 degrees from each other. Okay, and this is where you're going to want the needle nose. A good long reach. Just have to be careful not to scratch. Actually, we're going to do this. "90 degrees down, like that. And this part here, we should use this. This part here, it corresponds to this part on the instructions. Okay. And then this one's going to fold under 90 degrees. These are like benches on the back end of the cable car. Okay, so this one goes down like that. And then we have an up there, and then a down. And this gets a little tricky with all the various bends. There. I'm going to pull that out a little bit. Looks like from the instructions, from the pictures, it's they're all 90 degrees. Okay. I don't quite have it right there. About like that. Okay. And we're not done yet. We need to do the other side here. Basically, they form a step. So this one, that way, and then this one this way. Okay. And then you just look at your work, make sure it looks right. 90 degrees. Okay. So that's going to be like a step thing that goes down there. People put their feet, sit down on it like a bench. Okay. And so the instructions show that these will go down onto the platform, onto the flat part here, and be twisted 90 degrees. And the reason is because this is all going to end up underneath, so it's not going to be seen. And the twisting is the better way to attach parts. So if you can get away with twisting without it looking bad, that's how you want to do it. Okay. So we line up these tabs into the little slots. Oh, wait a minute. What do we have here? Oh, right there. No, that's a problem. So if you see that, the tab here comes out right next to the 90-degree thing that the wheel went down on with, right next to it. And there is not a whole lot you could do about that. It's so hard to get. Yeah, let's see here. There is not a lot to do. This here is where the thing was attached to the sprue, and it's a little bit of a problem. I'm going to flatten it, and so it's not in the way. Okay. So yeah, this is a challenge because of how the pieces come too close together, and then you can't do anything with them. There's going to be another one I see. This piece actually is a little bit in the way. I'm going to cut it. Going to cut it again. Okay. All right. Doesn't have one on the other side. Okay. So we're going to have to deal with this no matter what. I'm not sure I can get hold of it to twist it 90 degrees. But we will try. So we grab hold of this tab right here. And I got a bit of a twist on it. Okay. The other one will be fine. Okay. So you see I scratched it a little bit here, but this area doesn't matter. It's going to be underneath. It's not going to be seen. So we're good. Okay, now these, the tabs came out in a different location. And so actually they're going to be fine on this other side. They came out in a different location. So we could just take this one and twist it, no problem. And then this one also. There. Okay, so that part is all on and in place. Okay. Okay, so that's done. We can mark our instructions that we've done it. Okay, we install part number 4. And we did it into the slots designated, and we did the twist like they said to do. Okay. All right, we're done with that, and then we're going to go down to this next section, and we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so now we are on to the next step here. And we're going to get piece number 5. That'll be there. We also have piece number 6 that goes on to piece number 5. And from the looks of this, it appears that it would be way simpler to put piece 6 onto piece 5 first and then mount piece 5. Otherwise, we're going to run into space issues trying to get a needle nose in here. So let's get 5 and 6 off the sprue. 5 is this big one here. Okay. It's easy enough to find. It's this rascal here. Okay, so 5. And let's see. Okay, it's just those 2 places there. Okay, so there's 5. Now let's go ahead and get 6 while we're at it. And that's really a sub-assembly we'll do first. So 6 is right there. It's pointing up there to where this little thing right there. Okay. That little piece right there. Cut it off. And make sure I don't cut the piece itself. Okay. Yeah, very small. This is the kind of piece that if you were to accidentally pop it off and it would go flying across the room, you'd be in a lot of trouble trying to find it. It's amazing how these little things can disappear on you and never to be found again. So, just a word of warning. Tiny little piece. Okay. And it's sort of it was sort of a messy job getting it out. And there, cut off that excess there. Okay. Now, back to the instructions. So the instructions down here show it going into the bottom. Yeah, it's so hard to see the little slots right here, right here. If I use the other light up from the bottom, should be able to see it better. Those slots. See, there you go, right there. Really hard to see. Okay. If you're over about 40 years old, you're going to definitely need cheaters. Some kind of a magnifying headset or something to work on these things. Okay, so we bend this, got a bend line there. It's where the tab goes. Bend it like that. This is like the spare tire or something. Not sure what. There. Okay, so we're going to put that on first before we do anything else with this piece. It gives us lots of room to work. So stick one in there, one in there. Voila. Perfect. And the instructions say you can do a twist on those because they're like I said before, they're on the inside. Okay, so you want to make sure you hold it snug in place before you do the twist. And this is probably one where we can get away with this flat tool. Just makes for a nicer twist. There, 90 degrees. Don't go further than that. You're liable to break it off. Okay, so it's twisted, it's in place. Okay. nice and in place. All right. Okay, so we've done that part. We should mark it off as we go. So we've done 6 and attached it there with the twist. All right, great. Now, we've gotten 5 off, and that's really all we're supposed to do at this step. Okay, and then, oh no, we're supposed to do the 90-degree thing, bend. Where is it? And then it attaches down onto the platform right back in the back where these seats are here. Looks like we're safe to go ahead and do the bend and put it down there. Okay, I don't see a problem with that on this end. Okay, so we will go ahead and do that. We've got exactly like, where do you bend it? So you see there are some bend lines. That right there is a bend line. And this here is a bend line. It's a little line, and that's the only attachment points there. So it's very tough to see. And I'm not sure about this part right here, if it's supposed to bend in or not. And looking down here at the picture, it's not. If you look at the picture, and I don't know if we can magnify it, if it would help, but on the picture right here, no, magnifying doesn't help. So anyway, on the picture, where are we? Right here, you can see that the one little thing, it's like probably a pole to hold on to, it doesn't bend in. It stays flat with the back. Okay, so it stays flat out. Don't bend it in. Those kinds of details, you have to just look carefully at your picture. And if you need to, go back to the website and look at the model again. Okay, so bend that. So this is a little tricky because you got to bend each one separately. Okay, that. All right, same on the other side. There. Okay, and you have to be careful here using needle nose, so don't scratch it. If you can get a needle nose that actually is a cushioned needle nose, that's not metal to metal, that'd be just perfect for an absolutely clean build on these. You just don't want those marks, those metal bending marks. Okay, so that's not too bad. We did a little bit of a bend here. This is where you could use the flattener to fix the little bit of a bend we have there and just clamp. Don't scrape or anything, just clamp. And it flattens it out so it's perfectly flat. See right there. It was bent a little bit. Well, that's going to happen as you're working with these. Okay, so then this is going to go straight down. onto the platform where the seats are there. Okay. And I think, no, I have it right. So there's 2 tabs in the, do I have it right? Hold on. Whew. Okay. Now I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Okay, wow. They're so hard to see. These little teeny places where the tabs are. Here again is like, are there any tabs there? Look at that. Magnify it. See the little slot marks? Right there at the edge. You can hardly see them with a naked eye. So that's where the back tabs go. Here. Okay. So you see I've got them in place. And the front tabs, the front tabs are actually not going down, but they're going forward into the other things that we put on. So you need to line it up, and maybe we need to put them in first and then put the down tabs in next. Okay, so that those 2 tabs right there going into end here. And there again, very difficult to see exactly where they go. There, finally. Okay, that went in, that went in. Or did this go in? Did it go in? It went in. Oh, and it came out that side. Okay, they came out on the outside of the other one, unless we put the other one wrong. No, they came out on the outside. Then you got to get these tabs into their little place. These back tabs. You got to be so careful not to put too much pressure on it. Okay. So okay, there. Got the one in. The other one there. Okay. All right. Got them in. And the instructions show the back tabs, the ones that go into the bottom of the car, sort of into the platform, are twisted. We're going to twist. Can't get the flat onto this. So anyway, we're going to twist it. Does that help? Yeah, it does. Okay. Twist this one. Twist. Okay. So those are in, and now it says on these other two that are up above here that they need to be bent. And you see right there, they're going to have to be bent because they're right next to the wall of the front, right there. So you're going to have to bend them, and there's really no choice. It's got to be bent outward because there's no room to bend it inward. Okay. So this is a situation is like, how do you get under the edge of that tab to bend it? And here's what we do. Use an X-Acto knife, something with a really, really thin blade, and get under there. It goes pretty easy. And just get it started, and then we can finish it off with the needle nose. You can actually finish it off somewhat with the end of the paintbrush, whatever you've got that's wooden or plastic or something. Then flatten it good with the needle nose. Okay. Same on this side. Carefully go in here without scratching and bend. Okay. Then that. And then with the needle nose, we finish it off flat. Okay, so there we are. Got that. So it's all attached. Everything looks decent. A little wiggly here, but you're not going to see that when we're all done. Okay, so this part is done. There we are. I know there's a lot of glare on this. There, that's a little better. Okay, so we're very far along, and we will mark the instructions now again. Okay, so we did all this. We did this bend here, right? And we did this. We brought it down there. We attached the bottom and did a twist, and we attached these with a bend, a 90-degree bend. And next we'll work on 7 and 8, okay? And we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so now we have these two pieces to put on yet. They're just some of the, I don't know what, the railing, the decorative parts of this car. You're going to put them on now. You have, well, the entrance, see, is what we're working on here. So you're going to have this flat piece here is going to go across here. So it's an entrance. It's sort of a guard so that person doesn't like fall out of the car if it lurches forward or something. And so that's what this is going to be, and it's going to have this little piece here as a block on that end. And remember, we bent the steps, so these are the steps to get up into the car, right? Okay, so 7 and 8. It obviously, it looks like 8 is going to have to go first, because then 7 goes over 8. Okay, so let's get 8 out, and we'll just do them one at a time. 8 is right here. Looks like pretty much in the center, and that's what it looks like right there. Okay, and let's get my cutters. Just looking closely at exactly where I'm supposed to cut this off. I'm going to cut it off down here and then bend the other part. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we don't want that little piece there. No. Okay. Okay, so then we have to just pay attention to how this is all put together. So you see here, you've got a tab down. It's going to go down to the floor. You see there, it goes down to the floor. So, and let's see. And then you have the two pieces, the two tabs that go into this wall. Or do we? No, the tabs go into the outer part. So you have the one that goes down to the floor, and then you have the two that are sitting here that are going to take piece number 7. Okay. Like that. And they even show that wrong on the instruction sheet. They show it the other way, with those tabs that way, and that is not the way it goes. These tabs have to be out because number 7 is going to go, that those will go into number 7 here. Okay. You have to pay attention to those little details. Where did my piece go? Oh, there. Okay. So, main thing is to get this down there. And yeah, it doesn't exactly say on that particular one, but it looks like a twist should be just fine. The other two 7s are twists. So we'll twist this just to keep it in place. Obviously, it's not the final bit here. Okay. Got that twist in there, so that's there. It's a little flimsy now, but that's fine. 7 will go over it and straighten it all out. Okay, so we could mark the instructions that we have done 8. And we did this part of 8. We didn't complete it yet till we get piece number 7 out. Okay, so piece number 7 in the instructions here is right here, the bottom. Trying to keep track of, yeah. So it's this one, yeah, this one here. Okay. Use my nippers. All right. Clip it there. Where's the other clip? Oh, that's the only one. There's only 2 places it's hooked in. Okay. And this is that piece of the other one that we knocked off. This is just a little tab holding things, so we don't need it. Okay. So obviously this part goes out because it's the it's the fancy stuff as opposed to this, right? So that's self-explanatory. So we get the model back, and those there's tabs there where 7 and 8 go together. And then 7 goes straight down. Okay, so that is perfect. Those tabs just fell right into place. Almost. Okay, this one. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is put the tabs in that way, okay, and then that way into, okay, here's where we're going to use this little positioning. Everything's got to be sort of lined up when it goes down and then back all at the same time. So there, the down ones are in, and there's one. And you see, yeah, okay. Okay. This is, okay, there they are in, that's in good, okay. Then you gotta get the tabs in the bottom. There. And over here, and it just popped out of the other part. Hold on, hold on. there, there. Okay. We just got to get this last tab in place. There. Bingo. Okay. So we have all these guys here. The lower ones, we can definitely just twist because they're in the bottom. So let me just make sure of something. I don't have that one in the right place. Hold on. I have to move that over. There, it's in the right place. And this other one was in the right place already. Okay. There. It's all there. Holding it nice and tight. Let me get the big flat one. Perfect. And this one, it's going to be hard to do with the flat one because it's right up next to those steps, which we could have gotten away with not bending yet, but we did. Okay, that got that twisted. Okay, so that one's in place. We have these in the right slots. So which way should they bend? And let's see, that's a little whoppy jawed. It's gotta go that. There's not even an attachment point here. Okay, that's right. Now, so which way should those go? I'm going to go to the website again and I'm going to look at that, which way those tabs right there on that end have been bent. And I'll take you guys with me. Okay, so here we are back at the website, and let's rotate it around. If we can figure out how. Okay. Okay, here we go. Whoa, 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 stop. That's the back end. Okay. There. Okay, that's what we want right there. So we're working right here on this. Yeah. Oh, stop, stop, stop. Ah. Yay, 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 yay. Okay. So here we are with, there's the steps here that we did right there. Okay, so now we move it around a little bit. And the other end, and what we're after here is this right here what to do here. And stop. Oh my gosh. It's driving me crazy. There's the steps. There. So we just put in that. That's piece number 8 right there. Okay. I don't know why the arrows aren't working for me down here. But anyway, where it goes through, where it goes through, the tabs are bent to the inside. So that's all I needed to know. The tabs are bent to the inside. Okay, so we learned there that the tabs are bent to the inside on this. So we will do that. Here's where you would use the end of the paintbrush to get the tab started on its bend. Both of them. If we slip, it doesn't matter. Okay, that'll be a little difficult to get to with the needle nose, but I think we can do it. So right here, we can just squish it, and right there. Okay. Yeah, and that's sort of funny. There's nothing holding it on the other side. It's just a snug fit. That's it. Okay. All right. So we have that. There's the step. Okay. So that's all done. So then we can mark that. 7 is installed. And it went right there. We did that. We did those twists. So we're all done at that point. We've only got a couple of more steps left to do. And we will go ahead and tackle them right now. And we need part number 9 here. Part number 9 there. And there's 2 of them, and they go on the top. Okay. So part number 9 here. There's one of them. And the other one's right there. Okay. So, those are the names. Name of the streetcar. Yeah, and then there's a little roof that goes on top of that. Okay. So let me snip those out. And what might be fun to do is find an actual picture of this thing. And you could paint it to match exactly, and maybe add some detail that is not in the model, if you want to really get fancy with this. Okay, so we're going to bend off these little tabs off this one. Okay. This one. Okay. So these are going to be self-explanatory. They go down from, so where are we? They're going to go down on the roof. And so what we're going to want to do is do the roof, put them on the roof, and then put the roof onto the car. So the roof is part number 10, which is this thing down here. This rascal right here. Okay. Let me snip that off. Okay. So it appears the roof looks pretty symmetrical. So it doesn't look like it matters which end is which. Everything looks right. Obviously, we want this side with the fancy stuff on it, not the other side. And so then we're going to put the names right here, and then there's going to be a top that the names that mount on top of the names here. Okay. This is a pretty simple process. Gotta get them in here. There. Okay. And they are, according to the instructions, they're a twist also. Okay. Plenty of room to work on these pieces. So we can use the big flat one. And these tools are available on our website. So if you're getting into this for the first time, you don't have any tools, you can pick up those. It's a set of 3, and they have another set which is a set of only 2, which doesn't have the flattener, and they're the same price. So definitely get the set of 3, and they're very reasonable price too. Okay. So let's do the other side. Obviously, the writing has to be readable, not upside down. Sort of goes without saying. All right, so we have those. Did I do them right? Yes, I did. Okay, good. So we have got these guys, 9 times 2 of them. And there they are, those 2 right there. We have attached them right there like we're supposed to. Okay. And then, of course, we already did 10. I mean, that's where we attach them to, is 10. And then we're going to take 10 and mount it onto this assembly. And I always orient it like the picture so that I get it right. So we have a bunch of tabs on 10. Well, we have 4 tabs, and they're going to be bends. Okay. So I'm guessing we're going to be bending toward the inside again, like we have done with the others. There's that in there, and that there. Gosh, these are sort of tough. The twists are so nice because they once they go in, they lock. And also you will notice this roof has a bit of a curve on it. So you could probably bend it just slightly to give you the curve, just a little bit, just to make this assembly that much easier. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take a chance and assume that they are bent toward the middle of the model. Do that. Do that. Okay. Now that's going to be hard to get to with the needle nose. Almost impossible. So we're going to have to just finish that bend off with a fingernail or something. So you don't ever want to trim your fingernails down too close because you're going to need them as tools in this process. Okay, so I always keep my index finger and my thumbnail pretty medium long, just so I can do this work. Okay, so the other two tabs here came up through there. Okay, good. They're good. Use the paintbrush initially. To get them started. I know it's hard to see. Okay. So then we'll finish them off with a thumbnail. Okay, so there we go. Got the roof on there. We are almost done with our little cable car. Okay. And like I say, you can look up pictures of the real thing and modify it and tweak it as you choose. Okay, so we did these parts, attached it down there, did the bend over. Okay. Now, looks like these parts on the end here are going to bend down, I think. Or one's down and one's up. Or they're both up. Now it's hard to tell. Seems like it looks sort of like they're both. No, that one's definitely up. Okay, because that's showing. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go back to the website and look at this. Well, actually, we could probably look at the packaging. Okay, those stick up. And you have this textured area right here showing out. So yeah, those two stick up. Sometimes the picture is sufficient to do this. There's two bend lines here that it looks like there's two bend lines. So yeah, there's that way. No, I don't know. We're only going to do the one. We want that spacing there. We want that little bit of spacing there. We don't want it flat up here. So we got to bend it at this point. Here's my knife. All right. We want to bend it at this point here, not at this point against the body. So we want to bend it right there. Okay, so we have to be careful to do it that way. So we can use, if we use the needle nose, we can go all the way across. And yeah, it's a little tough. The flat ones. Okay, so when you got a double thing here, it's sort of tough to bend one part without bending the other part. Okay, so we got it pretty good. Okay, so it's sort of like a bumper. I don't know if we can magnify it. Will that help? Yeah, it's like a bumper. So it stands away from the body a little ways. Okay. Same with the other side. We'll have to just be really careful. See, this one wanted to bend the other part. There. Same here. We okay. So you can just see it stands off from the body a little bit. It's a bumper. That's what it is. And I'm not sure. This is sort of part of the bumper system. Here, I'm not sure. It might be a light or something on the back end. But yeah, if you get hold of a picture of the actual thing, it would be really cool to just so you could just get a more accurate depiction of what this rascal looked like in real life. Okay. So there we go. Okay, we're almost done. We just got to put this top here on where the words are. Okay. All right, and then okay, so we did these bends here. Did all that. And this. And now we're going down here to this last piece, which is number 11. So we would expect it to be the only other piece on here. And it appears that there is only one other piece on here. Okay. So we will cut it off here. This is a good starter kit for somebody who's never done these before, just to get the idea of how the instructions go and all of that. Cut off this little bit here. Okay. So again, on this one, it does appear to be pretty much symmetrical. And the instructions don't seem to indicate any difference either. This also has a bit of a bend, a curve to it, and I'm not sure how big a one we need here. A bit of one. I'm not sure that we want to mess with it and put it in there. Let's see how we're doing. If we put in a curve, it's going to even be separate. Okay, that's in that slot. I'm not going to put the curve in this one because it's going to make the you have to pull in the pieces that much closer together. So yeah. I'm not sure I want to do that. Okay, we happen to pop them all into place. Oh, that's a flaw there. We will fix that. Yeah, I think we'll just leave this flat, because if we curve it, it's going to pull them in more than they should be. So we will just do this. Going to bend these tabs. And they are blue, so yeah, we're not supposed to twist them. We're supposed to bend them over. So you got to be sort of careful because the what they're mounted on is sort of precarious at the moment. Okay, we can get a needle nose in here. So we can go ahead and get the needle nose in there and give that a good flattening on that side. This one popped up, but that's all right. We're right there. Can get it back on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is a little wiggly, just the way it is made. So you just got to be careful with that. Now hold it on one side and push on the tab from the other way. Okay. And then we will squish that one. Yeah, good. Okay. And then same here. We'll hold it from one side, bend the tab in the other way. Need to fix that right there. Okay, that one's good. We can get a needle nose on that. Smush it down good. And this one came out, but that's all right. It's right there. Okay. Then hold it from that side. Bend the tab. There. Squish it down. Okay. So it's a little wiggly, but that's how it's made. Okay, I need to trim that slightly. And this one is the worst on this end, actually. Okay, there we are. We are done. Tweak these slightly. This rear bumper, just slightly. Other bumper, just slightly. All right, there we are. One completed cable car. There we go. All right, so we're done. So that didn't really take that long. And we can finish marking our instructions. And you might want to save the instructions for future reference. And another thing wonderful about this company is they, if you break a piece or if you lose a piece, just call them and they will take care of it for you. They're very good about that. They're very, very customer oriented. And so you can do that. All right, that's it for this model.